just bump into somebody in the grocery store, fall madly in love, and end up married with her toddler. Like, you just never know. Anything's
You never
possible,
know. You
you
never
know?
know. Mhm.
So it's amazing. And like you, I have been married. I've actually been married twice and divorced twice. And, I feel like I'm constantly like I'm an eternal optimist and an eternal romantic. So I
Same.
am always like, a relationship doesn't work out, I take my little time to like recover from that, and then I'm back out there again. So for me, I feel like I will always be looking. Like, it's like kind of like that saying is kind of get rich or die trying. Mine is kind of like find that romantic partner that I'm really happy with or die trying. I will never give up. So
Same.
is that how you feel? Yeah.
I I am convinced, despite all evidence to the contrary, that like the guy's out there and that he's looking for me just as much as I'm looking for him, and that one day we will meet and it will be magical. And until then, I just feel like my life is awesome, and I choose to not create room in my life for anybody that isn't going to make my life bigger and more interesting, because it's already pretty big and pretty interesting. And I think that there are, like there are people that I think bad relationships make women in particular feel like they need to be smaller, that they need to take up less space, that they need to fade into the background a little bit to not be in the way of whatever drama is going on in the other person's life, or not to be doing so well that they intimidate their partner or make their partner feel like their success isn't as big as hers is. Like there's so many women who I think get smaller in relationships because they don't want to make the men feel bad. And maybe it works both ways with men too. I don't know. But I feel like the right person is supposed to like enable you to take up all of the space that you deserve and more than you even thought you could, and that really like encourages you to go out and have everything that you deserve. And I think that that might not be what you expect it to be. And so like my first French boyfriend, for example, he on paper like maybe wasn't at all what I thought I wanted, like what I would have expected, someone I would have expected to end up with. But what was so cool about him was he knew everything about the French restaurant scene, everything about French wine, every restaurant we ever went to, he knew the chef or the owner or whatever. And it was just this part of Paris world that I would have never accessed on my own. And so I loved that. Like, he never went to college. He doesn't have the kind of traditional profile that maybe I would have said on paper is what I wanted. And he taught me that whatever that profile is that you think you want on paper, throw it out. Because the thing that you like, the thing that I find interesting is when I can learn something from someone and have access to some piece of life that I couldn't get on my own. And that piece is just, it could be anything. Like I dated a DJ in Paris once, and I was like, oh, I just can like imagine myself with like backstage at a rock concert with like, some like backstage pass around my neck because he like works for the radio station and got us in here, and that's fun. Like I'll never do that on my own. And so it's for me, it's about learning and experiencing everything that life has to offer, and having people in your life that bring you that extra open door. And like who knows what's behind it, but like that I just like knocking and figuring it out, seeing where that might take me, and having no expectations in the process. And that's hard because I think having expectations is human nature, but I think that kind of curiosity about life is the key to being happy in the end, is just getting out there and letting life kind of wash over you and see what it brings.
Oh my God, what brilliant advice. That is like golden. And if everybody just then sees this, just takes that and runs with it, you will be so much happier in your experiences. I agree with that. I feel like the curiosity is just being curious,
Yeah.
without, and you're right. It really is hard not to have expectations. I'm not
It is.
saying don't have standards. I'm saying not to expect too much, hold your standards, hold your boundaries, but be open,
Yeah.
and have these experiences that you would maybe wouldn't have had.
Yeah,
It's
and I think
great.
there are certain expectations that you should have, being respected, being, all of the things that are like the basic fundamentals, like have the expectations. But but not about like the person that is going to give you those basic things might just not be who you think it's going to be on paper.
Mhm.
And that's okay. And that's exciting, and how fun to be surprised by life in a good way. There's so few surprises left in life.
And I love surprises. Surprise me.
Ew, totally.
I'm about it. So, you know what? There's one thing that you said earlier that I wanted to go back to too. And it was that when you started dating Frenchmen, they were kind of nervous about dating an American woman with the Me Too movement. And in my experiences with dating, men are still very nervous about how to proceed with women, whether they should be gentlemanly, whether they should open a door, whether they, you know, and I really think that each woman is different, but for the most part, I think we still want those things, you know? I think we still want to be treated, very nicely, very, very gentlemanly. Like I love a guy to open a door, get my seat, or help me with my coat, or, hold my hand or stand on the outside of the street. Like I'm very into those things. And I think a lot of women are. So
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too, is for men to be less afraid to do that for women, but to even ask them, like to be curious about that, and not just to close down to, well, women, me too ruined women. And like, because that's valid in some regards for some women, and these things have happened, but not
Yeah.
every guy is that guy that did that stuff, right? And so
Yeah.
if you're not, then don't worry about it. Just like be a gentleman. And I think most women really do appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the simple thing is don't be a predator.
Yeah.
And once you get past that, there's a lot of latitude. But I do think that there is something about I read something today that really stuck with me, and I saved it somewhere, but it was about like recognize that a woman doesn't need you to do all of those things, but she may still want you to do them. And doing it not from a place of, hey, little lady, I bet you need me to open this door for you, but just saying, you know what, let me help you out. Like, yeah, I know you can, but I want to help you. And I think it's, again, the need versus the want thing, and where your intention is, and where, what the reason why you're doing that thing. Is it because you think she can't? Well, yeah, that's probably going to be taken badly. Is it because I know you can, but let me help you out? Like, why not? Like, I want to do something nice for you. Like, there's probably no woman on earth who doesn't want that.
Agreed. Agreed. Do the nice thing and don't be a predator.
Don't be a predator and be nice. And then you
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's an interesting time, like we were saying earlier, where women are more like the trad wife thing is more prevalent these days. And like I said, I've done both, and there are aspects of both types of lifestyle that are really good.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I think women feeling appreciated for the work that they do, but also women appreciating men for the things that they do, can
Yeah.
go really far in enhancing every relationship.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny that you bring that up, because one of so the Austin character in the book, that's very much based on me. She's in this new relationship. She's falling in love, and backstory: I haven't been in love in a really long time. So I'm writing this from the perspective of basically me saying, okay, well, so the character is they're in her apartment, they're hanging out, and he like picks up the trash bag and starts to take the trash out for her, and she's like, oh my God, I love this man. And then she's like, wait, do I love him, or am I just grateful that he's taking out the trash? Because like nobody's done that for me in so long, and how do I know the difference? And that's like a big thing for her, of like, what is love versus gratitude? And I'm going to read it. I did a quote. It's a Victor Hugo quote that's at the very beginning of the book that I also quote in the book. And the quote is, you can give without loving, but you can never love without giving. The great acts of love are done by those who are habitually performing small acts of kindness.
Oh my God, I love that. And you know what? I went through this period of time where I was watching a lot of dating coaches and, assimilating information I've never been a big dater before, right before this time period in my life. And one of the coaches, and unfortunately, I don't remember who it was, but they said when you are looking for a partner and you're asking them what their love languages are, always look for the one that says acts of service.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind, especially of male partner, that you want as a
Yeah.
woman. And I think men like that too, but generally women do acts of service. It's like sort of hardwired in us,
Yeah.
especially like, the doing the cooking and cleaning, the things that those of us that do those things um, do, right? And I think that appreciation for both of those things. And I
Yep.
think that is definitely part of love.
Yeah, and that whole acts of service and all the love languages stuff, it's in this book too, because I totally agree that like the acts of service, there's another thing later, which is another act of service when she decides that she actually really does love him, where she's like, is it that, or is it that I actually really love him? And it's a I think from a like nervous about falling in love perspective, you ask yourself all these questions like, how do I know? When do I know that it's right? And I guess the answer is, when you know. But asking yourself all those things is important along the way, and checking in with yourself and being like, am I just grateful that he's taking out the trash? Like, you know, that's pretty.
Maybe it's both.
Oh,
Take the trash out and I will love you. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
But I am so grateful to you for being a guest on Hot Topics Live. Your book is amazing. I need to read it from cover to cover. It is such a book that I would read. So good. I encourage everybody to check it out and just buy it and share it and tell everybody about it, because I think it sounds good. I love the clips. The little bit of research I've done on it already was amazing. And you're just a brilliant writer. And I think you really have like your finger on the pulse of a whole bunch of themes around love for multiple generations of people.
I hope so. I hope so. I really appreciate the opportunity. It was super fun to write. And like I said, it just was out last week. So brand new. Very excited to have it out in the world. If you buy it, if you read it, if you like it, tag me on Instagram. You can see the little handles right there. I love seeing people's feedback on it. And yeah, it's such a pleasure to chat with you again, Kia.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. And I just want to encourage everybody to go and follow you on Instagram so that they can get the book, see where to get it. It's also in the description of this episode below. But you can go and follow her and support her art. Art is so important these days more than ever. And so go check out the first book too. It was very, very good. So I love these. It's just such a good book. Like both of them, they're just so well done. Fun. You know what? That's the word I'm looking for. They're fun, easy reads. They're really entertaining. And so I encourage everyone to get it.
Reviews from the first one, which I love. She said it was light. It was lighthearted, but not. It was lightweight, but not lighthearted, or lighthearted but not lightweight. That was it. Lighthearted but not lightweight, where it's like fun and easy read, but it actually, hopefully makes you think a little bit too. That's what I was going for, and I think all these topics are kind of universal, and everybody can do with a little bit of introspection and reflection on these and what it means for them in their lives.
Facts. And I love that at that little villa in Ibiza, there's going to be drama that pops off. So let's not forget that.
I think it should be called a thromance, a thriller romance, because the lead up to that unveil is there's some thromance in there.
I like that. Okay, that's a whole genre. Like there should be a whole genre of TV programming and everything about that. So I love it. Hit her up, Netflix. Yes. So thank you so much, Whitney, for being a guest. It's always such a pleasure to have you on and to chat with you and to hear your writing and to support your art. Like you're just amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
So with that, I'm going to put you in the green room. If you have time to wait for a proper goodbye, I'm going to wrap up the show and I'll see you in just a minute.
Okay.
So, wasn't she fantastic? I told you you would enjoy that. If you did not watch from the beginning, you need to go back and watch from the beginning, okay? Because she read excerpts from the book and you're going to love it. Very good stuff. So, we've reached the time of the show where I do something very special for you. Before I do that, I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Eris Health, and also Mental Health Code. So go and follow Mental Health Code on Instagram and support mental health, because you know what? It's really important to, especially during this time where people are suffering and dying. And we want to support and encourage people to get help when they're struggling. So Mental Health Code will help you do that. Also, if you like pretty pictures and you like pinup, then I have been in 7 magazines. This is one of them. And you can find out all the information on my pinup and follow my pinup journey on Instagram. I'm on Instagram and TikTok for both podcasts and my pinup. So you can follow me here. Okay. Go follow. And now we're going to do a little message from you for you, just for you. We're going to play a little card game. Soul Truth Self-Awareness card deck, because we all could be a little bit more self-aware. So what I want you to do is take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath with me. Maybe even close your eyes for a second and, center yourself. Go into your heart space, as they say. And I'm going to shuffle up some of these cards. One is going to fly out. That is going to be a message for you, just for you, for being one of my hotties and supporting the podcast and making it to the end of the episode. So let's see what your message is for today. Shall we? Oh, that was fast. Okay. So you have this card. It says, how can I be more flexible right now? And I think that really ties into the message of giving people a chance and being more flexible in how you meet people, whether it's online or in person, taking that chance to go up to somebody or giving somebody a little bit more of a chance before you swipe off of them or unmatch, right? So how can I be more flexible right now? Take what resonates, leave the rest. What are you trying to control? Maybe it's time to let go. Let love move through you today and trust the outcome will be for your highest good. Today's soul action, remind yourself all day long that you are safe, that life is happening for you, and that you are not alone. Then do some yoga or Pilates. I like them both. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to Hot Topics Live podcast. If you watch live, you should drop comments. You guys, you could have commented. You could have asked Whitney questions. Don't be shy. I saw you watching. And also subscribe. Okay. So you can leave comments if you watch live. So you should totally set your notifications so you know when I'm come live, because half the time I don't even know when I'm coming live for this or for the Dating After Divorce series, which I will be back with a new episode with my friend Fawad, the male and female perspective on dating. We're discussing breakups and how to break up, do's and don'ts, next week. So you'll want to tune in for that. So set your notifications. I love you guys, and I will see you next time.